Hi everyone, welcome back to Grandpa Mark's Hobbies and build update number 1 on AMT ERTL's 37 Chevy Cabriolet. You remember that I did the gasser not too long ago, the AMT ERTL 37 Chevy gasser, and I just loved it, and I made mention that I would love to do the convertible and then the other one too, and I went up to a buddy's to pick up another model that I was getting from him, and he told me that his brother wanted me to have this kit, and unfortunately, his brother Tim is no longer with us. So I want to do this for Tim. I've gotten a lot done since I started this last week. I haven't forgot about the hauler. It's on hold right now because I'm waiting for my decal paper to come, because my other decal paper just kind of did not like being clear coated. I don't know what happened to it, but it zebra skin, or it like alligator skinned on me. But let's get into this 37 Chevy here. And on top of that, let's talk about Gallery's new paints. I've been using their new paints. They just sent me these things out. They told me they were coming, and I've been holding off and holding off and holding off on this kit because this is what I wanted to use on it. I'm using the Cosmic Black and Twilight Purple, and I got it. You'll see here. But I'm really, really, really liking these paints. They go down very nice and dry overnight, and then I came back, like with this, I came back and was able to wet sand it. I've been messing around with the hood. That's why it's not as glossy as it was when I painted it. But I tried wet sanding it. I polished it. I used their clear coat on this when I was testing that purple. And their clear coat is deep gloss clear coat. I love it. So let's get into this build. I started out with the gluing all the chassis up. I found that with this kit, it's better to glue everything up and then fight the paint, making sure you get in everywhere. You see, I didn't even get the back because I still have all this to do, and I needed a place to kind of hold it, and it just didn't get there. The other thing I did is cut the springs back, and I folded them in so that the spring is now brought up and onto the top this way. And the reason why I did that is because I don't want them sticking out on the front of the car. I want this to be a smooth car, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a few minutes. But the chassis goes together nice. The drive linkage is really sharp on it, and I will be highlight painting all this. It's just that I got the flat coat on it just to get it on there, and then I came back with the Mystic Black, and I airbrushed this, and then I airbrushed the body and everything, and while I was doing that, I did this, and then today, I took it and I highlighted that Mystic Black. Let me get this off of here, and I'm going to keep it on this because I'll pull you back a little bit here. I'm going to keep it on here because I just literally got done painting it. But I did the Mystic Black, and where the fenders roll over, I wanted that to be purple. And I love this purple. I really do. This is their color. Hit a home run with this color. This is their Twilight Purple. I think I mentioned that. And then over the Cosmic Black. Boy, did it go down nice. And I'll tell you what, I got 5 minutes of airbrush video where I'm spraying this purple on here. So let's bring that up real quick. And again, I'm showing you that I'm using their Twilight Purple. I already have the airbrush. I'm using the Mobius 0.3 millimeter, and I grabbed a test spoon, and I use test spoons like crazy. I highly recommend them. With this, when you turn on the Serene air compressor, it automatically goes to 21 psi. So I said, okay, let's see how this looks at 21 psi, how it sprays. And it sprayed great. It really did. But I wanted to be able to feather it out a little bit and mess around with highlighting with the paint. So I went over and I dropped the air down to 19 psi. And now I'm going really light just to see what I can do with it. And if you look at that, it almost came out like a purple pearl. I wasn't expecting that. It's not the color I wanted, but I wasn't expecting that. And I thought, okay, well, let's try it and we'll go a little bit farther with it. And I hit it with another coat, and it really brought in like a metallic purple over that black. You can see the black through it. But it really looks cool. I like that color. I might end up doing a body color that someday. But now I'm going with the third coat, bringing it into what the color that the paint is. So you can really mess around with that. And now I'm going with the body. Like I said, I've already done the Cosmic Black. I love the names. Cosmic Black on this. And it's dried for since Saturday, I think it was. And the hardest thing I was thinking is I'm going to have a hard time getting underneath those lights. I wasn't expecting to do a two-tone on this, so I went ahead and glued those lights on just so they wouldn't ever get knocked off. And now I'm thinking, okay, how hard is it going to be to get that color underneath there? Well, it wasn't. It went on really nice. And now I'm playing with it. I'm giving it that light tack coat that I always do. And I'm thinking, okay, do I want to keep it this color or not? So I did the same thing on this side and just came up and gave it a real quick hit light. I'm hardly pulling that trigger back at all. And it's making it to where it's a translucent purple. And I thought, yeah, that looks pretty cool. Let's do this on the fenders. So I grabbed a fender, and for me, the hardest thing about doing these big fenders is how to paint them. I get a nice even coat, but with this airbrush, the setup and the paints, yeah, I was able to get a nice even coat. I was able to do what I wanted with it. It just flows so much better than what I'm used to using. So I did the purple on there, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, no, I want it to be purple. So back to the body, and I gave it a second coat, just a quick, bring it up just the next level and see how that looks on there. So I went ahead and I shot both sides. And again, I'm at 19 psi and laying it down in there just really light. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not sure. So I grabbed the other side and hit it so I could see both sides and, kind of eyeballing at the fender and back and forth. And I decided I want it to be purple. So I went ahead and shot it. I'm looking under the lights to make sure that's covered. It covered under there beautifully. The air, it came out real nice. I just took it and looked at it under regular light. And when I did, I liked that color, but not for what I'm going for. So now I'm hitting it with everything the paint's got, and I'm letting it cover. And it did. It covered that black really well. So on to the second side, and I'm hitting that, and I'm getting a little better with trying to keep these in frame. I'm looking at a new spray booth that I'll be able to reposition the camera a lot better, so I'll be able to film better. But look at how nice that looks. Now we're onto the fenders, and you can see I'm not messing around now. I'm giving them a good shot, and it covered well. It really did. I'm taking a quick look at it. I said, oh, missed a spot. Come back, tag it, and then I'm out. So now it's back over to the desk, And we'll bring this up. And this is what we got. And I am really liking this color. And the fenders are going to look so cool on there. You know, I mean, this is exactly what I was going for with this. So we got the Mystic Black on here. Mystic Black. I am messing these all up. The Cosmic Black and the Mystic Purple, or Twilight Purple. I don't know where I'm getting Mystic from, but the Twilight Purple on the fenders is going to look great with the hood. And I don't know if I'll show it with the hood or not, but I decided to highlight everything else. Let me move this out of the way. And like I said, these are real, they just probably a half hour out of the spray booth. But this I did the other day, and I wanted this to highlight, to bring everything in. Let me pull you down here a little bit, because I want to show you that I sprayed this whole thing purple. And then I came back and I hand painted the silver in there. I painted all this white. I let that dry. I came back and used panel liner inside there to highlight all the numbers and everything and to bring that up. And panel liner in here, just, I know that's supposed to be all aluminum, but I'm looking for, I'm just looking for something that looks like that, where I can have a little bit of life on that dash, because it's going to be pretty much hidden in there. Anyhow, even though it's convertible, the dash is always kind of loose. But the other thing I wanted to see is, can I panel line this paint? And yep, that paint panel lined on there real nice. The other thing is, when I was painting this trim, I'm not the world's best painter, so I did get some of that the aluminum on the purple. I let it dry. I took a drop of the purple and put it in a spoon, and I was able to use my ultra fine brush to touch up where that was. And you could see it was over here, and you can't even really tell. There was that. This was my fault, not the paint's. You should never touch the paint while it's still wet. But I like this. It's going to look really cool inside there. Let me back you back out now. I think it's going to look really cool inside there as a highlighter. And then I decided we don't want everything to be black. So with the body, which is still way too far in here, with the body like that, I'm thinking I am going to do the roof in black. If I display it with the roof on it, I like that look, especially with the purple on there, and it runs, and the running boards are going to be the black, and I am going to chrome the edge of the running board here. So we're going to bring that up. There's not going to be a banging lot of chrome on here, but there's going to be the door handles and the rumble seat handle and things like that. The book is still out on whether or not I'm going to use the spare tire holder. Not quite sure yet on that. But what I did not like is I didn't like that vent window. It just, they wrapped it around and then dropped it, and it came way back in here somewhere, and it just kind of didn't look like what I wanted to get. So I nixed that. But I was talking about not just using the black on here. So I took and I did the leather that I used on the Rockford Files Pontiac way back when. I used that technique. This was just white. I sprayed it with brown, let that dry. But then I came by and I used my red panel liner in here, and I panel lined all this to give it that leather look. And it just gives it a little hint of the leather. I didn't clear coat it again. I just left it dry. I also did the boot for the top. And look at how that panel liner brought out the life in there and the stitching and everything. So again, I'm not sure if I'm going to use the black the black top over top of this, or if I'm going to just use the thing and have it down. The seat also got the leather, and I like that. It's real subtle, but it's there. I mean, you can see the little lines and the streaks and things like that in there. And down in here, the camera's not picking any of it up, but it is there. Same with the back. I wish the camera would pick that up. It's just too much light in here, I think. But it looks great. In my book, it looks great. Then I was messing around. I got the steering wheel, and I'm going to use the chrome steering wheel. But I painted the ring black, and that center, I brush painted the purple in there. And I haven't panel lined around anything yet, so this is just, it's not finished, but that's going to look so good in here with the, the black on that, and then the purple on the gauges. I think that's going to look so cool. It's going exactly the way I wanted it to. I'm not lighting this because with the rumble seat and everything, there's really not a good place to hide a battery and the wires. So I opted to not light it over, put the rumble seat in. The other thing I did is I painted the cranks and the latch with the silver, and then I took some of that purple and I did the handles in purple. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera or not, but I can see it looking at it. And then this is just going to be flat black. I'm going to hit that with clear and bring that up. And I wanted this to be the leather look too. I'm still debating on whether or not to switch that over to black and then making a semi-gloss black all the way around. Because here's my stick shift. And I did file all the chrome off of the knob so that the purple had a really good grip. But man, I'm telling you, everything's going to tie in the way I wanted it to. We're going from here. Let's jump into, I'm going to show you my grill. Just panel lined it, and then I took and put a dot of red on the Chevy emblem. That's the clear red, just to highlight it. It kind of makes it look like a jewel on the front of this. And I haven't seen it yet with the purple, so we're going to see this together. How cool is that going to look? I love it. This is coming out awesome. The other thing with the purple, how about that with the Kragers? They don't say Kragers on this one. They're just like a bumpy circle in the center. But I still wanted to paint them that Krager blue, just to kind of give homage to the Krager blue. But I like that Krager look with the purple and with the black. I think it looks great both ways. Now we get into where a lot of the work's gone, into the engine. And I'm going to bring you down for this one, because there's a lot of detail in this. I used the gasser engine with a blower on it on the last build, so I'm going with the straight 6 on this one. I painted this before I got Gallery's paints, so this is Tamiya's the RLM gray. I looked online. I know it was a gray color, and it wasn't gray. And that's the best thing I had without going crazy with a mix. And I like it. I held it up to the screen after I painted it, and I thought that looks pretty stinking good. But the carb is decent. The horn is open all the way to the back. I still have to touch it up. I didn't get in there yet. I figured it'll be easier to touch it up glued in place here than me trying to hold it with the tweezers. But the carb looks great. I didn't do any linkage with the carb at all yet. I will. It does have linkage that comes down onto here and goes back on here, so we'll do something there just to show it. I did drill for the fuel in the front, and there's my fuel filter and pump on there. And what I'm using for that fuel filter is, I can hold this the right way, huh? What I'm using to make that look like a fuel filter in there is, I did the aluminum, let it dry, and then I painted that iron, dark iron color on there and let that dry. And then I hit that dark iron with clear yellow and I let that dry. And then I'll come back and I'll put the little aluminum on the very top of that thing. And that'll be done. I drilled out the front so I could run the hose up and around. I drilled out the 6 on the distributor. I drilled out the coil. I painted the coil top that brown color, like Excel brown, but I did do the black on the coil because I didn't want just a ton of yellow on there. The starter is just semi-gloss black with the titanium gold highlights. The belt was jerked up. I had to kind of do the best I could with the belt just to make it look good. I still have a little bit of touch up you see right here on the generator to make that perfect. And I'll do that when I do the inside of the horn, because that'll drive me nuts knowing that that's that way, even though it's going to be here and you'll never ever see it. My next step on this is going to be yellow plug wires, of course, just because I like that look. It'll jump out at you when you open the hood. Even though it's a straight 6, it's freshly rebuilt and brought back to, the stock look, except for the wires. I wanted them to be the Excel. The oil fill and vent look great. Good detail on this thing. Really good detail on this thing. So there we go with that. I still got to paint this black and a few other things, and I'm debating on whether to highlight all the bolts like around the oil pan and things like that, but I'm not sure. But there's the engine too, and geez, with that, I am running out of stuff to show. I did panel line the gallery paint, like I said on the other things, but it worked good. No problems at all. No reactions at all. So far, these paints have given me less fuss than any that I've been using for the past couple of years. I can't call this quits yet without showing you the air filter. I had to. I was getting ready to clean the brush, and I looked in there. I had just enough, and I thought, yes, we're going to paint this too. So I painted the air filter the purple just to tie it in with everything else. But with that, let's say thank you to Gallery first off for all the paint and everything, and the opportunity for me to learn what they have out there. And I'm really impressed with it. And like I said, the paint will be out right around the middle of August. But if you want to get anything else beforehand, don't forget to use Grandpa Mark in your coupon code to get 10% off of everything you get. Don't forget, we're going to say thank you to our veterans, first responders, and active duty people, because they put it on the line for us every single day, and I salute each and every one of you. We're also going to have our 24-hour build October 11th, and The GoFundMe is set up in the description. So if you want to donate early, go ahead. I think we're up to $250 on donations. Once we hit $2,000, if we can hit the $2,000 mark, Zach is going to shave my head during the 24-hour live cast. So let's see if we can't build up to that and go from there. But with that, I'm going to let y'all go. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a great day and a better tomorrow. And I will see you soon.